The new Emir of Kebbi. In the golden dust of burning Kebbi, the capital of Kebbi state, stood the ancient palace of the Emir, its domes painted with the hue of tradition and authority. For centuries, the palace had seen the rise and fall of rulers, each one a custodian of the people, a protector of culture, and a symbol of unity. But now, the people waited in suspense. The old Emir, Alhaji Umaru Danuya, had died after ruling for 42 years. Under his reign, peace flourished, and the traditions of Kebbi remained intact in a fast-changing Nigeria. His death left a vacuum. And although his eldest son, Prince Ahmad, was widely expected to take over, destiny had other plans. The whisper among the walls. The Council of Kingmakers, 7 wise elders appointed by history itself, gathered in silence within the inner chamber of the palace. The room smelled of incense and goatskin scrolls. They debated not for days but for weeks. The people outside whispered, wondering, would the son of the late Emir inherit the throne, or would a lesser-known name rise? One name kept appearing, Zayyanu Abdullahi. Not a prince. Not a politician. He was the grandson of a former Emir who had chosen a life outside the palace, working as a teacher in a quiet village called Shona. He lived humbly, wore no royal garments, and preferred Hausa proverbs over political slogans. But he was loved. His students said he could solve disputes with just a parable. He built wells. He taught orphans. And during the flood of 2023, it was Zayyanu who led rescue missions on foot. The resistance of royal blood. When the news reached Prince Ahmad that he might not be chosen, he was furious. A teacher. Over the blood of royalty, he thundered at the council. But the elders only replied with silence. The tradition was clear: leadership in Kebbi must serve, not just rule. The people began murmuring in markets and mosques. Some supported Ahmad. Others, especially the poor, prayed Zayyanu would be crowned. He is the people's Emir, an old woman said. He taught my son to read when no one else would. The summoning of Zayyanu. Zayyanu was in the middle of teaching a math lesson under a neem tree when the messengers came, riding horses with royal insignia. He thought someone had died. You are to report to burning Kebbi immediately, the chief messenger said. For what reason? Zayyanu asked calmly. You have been chosen, Malam. The throne awaits you. Zayyanu looked at his students. He looked at the bare earth beneath him. And he knew that life would never be the same. Trials of tradition. Before he could be crowned, Zayyanu had to pass the 5 trials of tradition, a symbolic journeyman to test wisdom, courage, humility, generosity, and connection to the land. 1. Wisdom. He debated 3 elders in public, answering riddles and ethical dilemmas. His responses echoed the voice of the common man. 2. Courage. He visited the haunted ruins of Agongo at night, alone, to retrieve a royal staff said to be guarded by spirits. 3. Humility. He served food to beggars for 7 days at the city gates, refusing to speak until spoken to. 4. Generosity. He gave away every personal possession he owned to the poor before entering the palace. 5. Connection to the land. He walked barefoot through the rice field of Suru, blessing each farmer he met. The coronation. The day came. Thousands gathered at the palace square. Drummers beat the ancient rhythms of Kebbi's soul. Ululations filled the air as the Emir's robe, a flowing white garment embroidered with gold, was placed on Zayyanu. The Waziri, the chief advisor, shouted in a deep voice. Allahu Akbar. Long live the Emir of Kebbi. Zayyanu Ibn Abdullahi, the humble servant who became king. Tears flowed freely, from palace walls to village huts. For the first time in years, the test of leadership. Being Emir was not all fanfare. Within his first year, Zayyanu was tested. A group of herders and farmers clashed over grazing routes. Youth protested lack of jobs. The palace treasury was nearly empty. Instead of hiding behind gates, the new Emir did what he had always done. He called open forums under trees. He invited the youth into the palace for dialogue. He restructured palace spending to fund schools and markets. One night, a young protester approached him privately. You are not like the others, the boy said. You listen. Zayyanu only smiled. I was one of you once. A royal visit. The president of Nigeria visited Kebbi after hearing of the Emir's legendary reforms. He expected pomp, but Zayyanu received him with a bowl of tuwo and a wooden chair. Your people are your strength, Zayyanu said. Not marble floors. The president laughed and later said, if every leader were like this Emir, Nigeria would be a different country. The bloodless legacy. Years passed. Zayyanu's name became a proverb among traders, lead like Zayyanu. His style was copied in other northern states. Even his critics bowed to his simplicity. Prince Ahmad, now older and wiser, returned one day and sought forgiveness. You were meant to lead, brother, he said. Zayyanu embraced him. Kebbi is our mother. We serve her together. The final lesson. On his 20th year as Emir, Zayyanu gathered children from every local government. He sat with them in a circle, just like in the old village. I am not the palace, he said. I am the story. And so are you. Tell your story with truth, serve your people with courage. The echo after the voice. When Zayyanu finally died at the age of 77, Kebbi wept again, not in sorrow, but in gratitude. The schools remained. The hospitals functioned. The people told his story at weddings, naming newborns after him. In the palace garden, a bronze statue was erected, not of a man sitting on a throne, but of a teacher. The plaque read, "Here lived Zayyanu, the people's Emir. Not crowned by blood, but by service." Moral lesson. True leadership is not inherited but earned. Service, humility, and wisdom are greater than titles. A leader must first be a servant before becoming a king.